Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. I am Dr. Delise Coffey, and I am bringing you another amazing guest. But before I bring her on, I want to remind you of our free throw-a-thon. For those that are watching for the first time, we're having our first annual Coach Joe free throw-a-thon, and it's going to be September the 9th through the 17th. So you can register now at extreme.com/fun. This event is going to be so fun because it's virtual, and then we're going to connect virtually and just kind of share with each other what we've done, all the fun that we had, and just keep things moving because this is for a great cause. This is for a cause to help those that are struggling to get scholarships to go to college. And before, I would say, you help the underserved athletes, which that population is huge, but since COVID had hit, since 2020, 2021, a lot of people are struggling. So we want to help those who are struggling to get their kids into college, and they had a little setback because of COVID, or they had a little setback because of just life challenges. So all the proceeds will go to our sponsorship fund to sponsor them in showcase games so they can be seen by the scouts and get scholarships for college. That's where the gap is. These kids cannot afford to be on the showcase games. And if they want to be seen and get a scholarship, that's where they must be. So that's our mission, and that's our goal, is to sponsor them. So when you participate in the Coach Joe Free Throw-a-thon, that's what you will be doing too. You will be helping these deserving individuals reach out and go for their dream and reach their dream and dream even more. With that being said, the guest today, she's a former basketball player and she's a sports mom to professional athletes. Now, when you say to professional athletes, you think one, which is amazing, but she has 3 children that are professional basketball players. Isn't that mind-blowing? So we're going to find out what it's like to be a sports mom and talk about her journey, how she got started as well. So I am bringing Miss Sheba Coffey to the stage.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sheba, yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
It is so good to see you again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This is really exciting.
It really is. It really is. I've shared with my viewers that you play basketball. And not only did you play basketball, you have 3 professional players. So we just can't wait to hear what you have to share with us. But before we start, Sheba, I need to give them a little backstory on how we actually met.
Okay.
Sheba and I, we met at a Lisa Nichols event. It was before COVID, so it was a huge event. And I was by myself, and I didn't know anyone and all of these people. So I ended up sitting beside Sheba, and she was just the nicest little lady. And you know me, I was nervous. I was kind of timid because everybody was just having fun and making noise. And then I'm like, okay, this is kind of a little bit much for me. Right. But she had her little snacks, and she was offering me her snacks. Oh, isn't that sweet?
It worked.
But this is the interesting thing. It was a 3-day event. So the first day, of course, we introduced ourselves, Sheba, Delise. And then it was the last day when we realized we had the same last name.
Small world.
I know, because I'm thinking, this is a nice lady. I want to stay in touch with her because she made me feel comfortable in the midst of all of these people. So the last day was like, no way, you can't be a Coffey. So we tried to trace it back to see where we some kin, but of course we couldn't.
Right. We're still working on that. We're going to go deeper because you're my sister one way or another. You are my sister.
Exactly. No doubt about it. Yeah. So yes, and we've been staying in touch, and social media can be a good thing if you use it for good. That's how she and I have been able to stay in contact. It's through social media, and I'm so grateful that we've stayed in contact.
I am too.
So I share with my viewers that you play basketball. So share with us your journey, because what we like to know is the lessons and get the tips in the journey. So take us all the way back.
Oh my goodness, that is seriously taking me all the way back. So Delise, I literally played in high school. That was a minute ago, but I played in high school, and there were so many lessons that I learned from playing in high school. You learn teamwork, leadership, discipline, work ethic, and all those kinds of things. And I just loved how those skills are transferable in life. And so I laugh all the time and say that, the kids get their skill set, their athleticism from the mother. So I played in high school, did pretty well, did not take it to the college level. But when we fast forwarded and I got married and we had our children early, I knew in my soul, my children were going to go to college on a basketball scholarship. Mm-hmm. Now that's easier said than done. They had to go on a basketball scholarship because what I didn't know was what I didn't plan for. I had all three children 2 years apart. So that means 2 in diapers at the same time, 2 in college at the same time. That means super expensive. And so it worked out where the children were athletic. And we worked on that, and we worked on that, and we worked on that. And I have to, I'm like one of your biggest fans, one of your biggest cheerleaders, because everybody talks about the athlete and playing basketball and, oh, this person is good and they can shoot and they can do this and they can do that. But none of that happens, Delise, and I know, without the right mindset. So all these athletes need you, because without the right mindset, they can't get to where they want to go. They can't get to that basketball scholarship. And it sounds so cliche, but the mindset was the biggest thing. And so we worked on that with our children. And our children all had grand ideas of where they wanted to go to college. All of them were super expensive. So we had a grand idea of, you can go as long as you pay for it. So it was like blood, sweat, and tears and playing basketball and getting you to where you want to go. But it really, really, truly all starts with the mindset, and take it after their mother, of course.
Of course, yes. Definitely.
I have to laugh. So what specific question do you have for me?
Well, building confidence is one of the things that I teach my students a lot when I first get them, because I think confidence is kind of the foundation of helping them get from point A to point B. Because if they have confidence, other things are not easy, but they're a little more manageable to obtain. So share with us, one, how you built your confidence, okay, and two, how did you help instill confidence, or how did you help your children build confidence? Because with 3 children, all of them are different. Yes, very absolutely, different. Absolutely. So the process and the things that you would do for one may not work for others. So we're really interested in hearing your personal journey for confidence building in the 3 kids.
So that's interesting. So how do you build confidence? Whether it's me or other people or my children, confidence is honestly just believing you can do it. You have to believe, because I can't want it more for you. You can't want it more for that person. They have to believe that I can do this, like I am capable. And sometimes we're a little bit low on confidence. That means you have to pour into the person, pour into my child, pour into your athlete. You have to pour into that person until, I hate to say it, their cuppeth runneth over, until they could start believing in themselves. But with that pouring into them, positive messages of their capability, their ability, and all of those kinds of things, you have to keep them in action, Delise. I like to say that action is the antidote to fear. And so you're constantly pouring into the person, you can do this, you are capable, and you keep them in action towards actually making that happen, if that makes sense. And so you're so focused on the action of, and I'm just going to use basketball, for example. You're building your skill set. You're so focused on the action. You're constantly playing. You're going above and beyond. You're going to the gym early. You're staying late. You're working with trainers. You're working with teaching coaches. And if you're supposed to be at the gym at noon, you get there at 10 and you put up 500 shots before the coach shows up, before the trainer shows up. So how do you build your confidence? It's working on your skill set. It's repetition. It's being in action. You don't just wait for the coach to show up. If you get there at 10 minutes to 12 and it starts at 12 o'clock, you know what, you're late. You should be there 2 or 3 hours early, putting up 500 shots, putting up 1,000 shots. You need to be there sweating and running and doing your killers. I call them suicides, doing your killers, doing all those kinds of things so that you know when you're putting in a game situation, you've already been there, done that. You're putting in the work, and this is just following through. And so you pour into the person, but they have to believe it and want it for themselves, and then put that in action. You can't want something and just expect it to happen. You have to do something about it. So you take your crack to the gym and you go early and you stay late and you work longer and harder than the next person. And so you really, really focus until that focus becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a commitment. And that's your driver. That's going to keep you going. And on days when you feel like, you know what, I'm not so sure, you just stay in action, and you keep building that skill set. You know, everybody talks about, well, who's better, the gifted athlete or an athlete that works their butt off? I believe it's the athlete that works their butt off, because you can have an athlete that works their butt off because they have a killer work ethic. And then you have an athlete who is just gifted and they have a piss poor work ethic. Even though that gifted athlete can do a little bit more in that moment, that athlete that works his or her butt off is going to surpass that gifted athlete. And so you focus. You create a habit, that habit creates a commitment, and that commitment is your driver, and it's going to keep you going no matter what.
That is awesome. And just to kind of repeat some things, because I want you all to make sure you hear, she dropped a whole lot of nuggets, a whole lot of diamonds. So I hope you caught most of them. But staying in action, that is so powerful. Once you have the vision and you start creating a goal, stay in action.
Yes.
And then another thing that she said, and this is going out to all my sports mothers, well, sports parents, you can't want it more than the child.
Absolutely.
It's important to pour into them, to encourage them and to support them. But if they don't want it as much as you do, it's challenging. And I think that's sometimes a place where parents get frustrated and kids lose interest in the sport. So that's kind of a good assessment for parents to do. How bad do the kid want it? Then you want it just as bad as they do, not more, but just as bad, because the kids need the parents. They can't do it without the parents.
Absolutely.
I hope you all heard that, children. You can't do it without the parents.
I love that you said, how bad do you want it? Like, you create the environment for them and you give them the support that they need, but how bad do they want it? The kids have to want it more. Now, you could help along with total immersion. And when I say total immersion, I am so serious. Have so many basketballs in the house, you're almost breaking your ankles tripping over them. I'm telling you, the basketball screensaver, I'm telling you, the basketball posters, the basketballs in the car, like, you can create that. But the athlete has to have it, has to want it more than you do. And then you just the supporting cast. So how bad do you want it? And oftentimes, you know, athletes don't technically know what they don't know. And so they don't know the doors that, you know, basketball can open for them. A lot of people never dreamed I could go to college on a basketball scholarship, or if they did, they don't know the work that it entails. But you can open up a whole world, a whole journey that is phenomenal and actually mind-bending. Like, you go to college on a basketball scholarship, basketball can take you overseas. You're playing against the biggest and the best and the brightest, and who knows what can happen with that. But most importantly, you get a free education. Now, you're playing it with blood, sweat, and tears, but you're not paying financially in terms of dollars. And it's amazing how that journey sets you up for your future success, because basketball is temporary. And after that, whether you go into entrepreneurship or you go into some type of career, all of the skills that you learned in basketball is transferable to life and your relationships. So it's pretty exciting.
Yes, awesome. Now, being able to stay focused and be a student athlete, that's challenging as well. So you have 3 champions. Well, 4, counting you. You're a champion sports mom.
I
So
love it.
we're hearing from a real champion all the way around. So how do you help your kids stay focused and balance the two?
Right. So balance is interesting, but how do you help the children stay focused? And they're young men and women now, so I don't want to call them kids anymore. But in terms of focus, you really have to figure out, or they have to figure out their deep why. And I say that because, again, we can't want it more. So how do we stay focused? Well, what do you want from this? Well, if your answer is, I want to go to college. Well, why do you want to go to college? Because I want to go to this specific school and I can't afford it. So I'm willing to do this. And so you focus on your why. That's how you focus. You're literally not focusing technically on basketball. You're focusing on, this is the vehicle to get me to my goal. So your focus is on free school. Well, what do I have to do to do free school? Well, I have to play on the team. I have to go to practice early. I have to stay late. I have to work 7 days a week. There are no days off in basketball. I'm going to be at the gym on Sunday. I'm going to go to the gym before the prom. I'm going to go, you're going to do above and beyond whatever you're focused on if your deep why is strong enough. And so that's how you do it. You focus on the thing that you think you want the most, or that you want the most. And that's what creates your focus. That's what creates your commitment. And that is a driver, so that when you're having a really bad day and you're missing shots, it's okay, because it's still taking me to my journey. It's still taking me towards that scholarship. It's still taking me to Notre Dame or North Carolina or Kentucky or wherever it is you want to go. So you focus on your why. Your why is the most important thing. And then you got to push yourself and have coaches like you, mindset coaches and teaching coaches, push you beyond where you ever thought was possible and keeping you in action. So it's moving you forward along your journey to get to your deep why.
That is amazing. That is deep. I hope you all embrace that and just take it wholeheartedly, the why, and use sport as the vehicle. Ooh,
exactly.
That was good.
Exactly.
That was good. That was good. So yes, if you have that deep why, and when the bad days come, because
they're coming,
you're deep enough into that why, and your drive is so strong, your focus is so strong, that you can propel yourself forward even through the bad times. Exactly. And that's what it takes to be a champion. Exactly. And then for the parents to recognize this and to understand this, that's a champion parent. And that's what the children need. Absolutely. So that is just great information. But before we share the tips for the participants to be successful in the Coach Jill Free Throw-a-thon, tell us who your children are. I just keep saying 3 professional players. We need to give them a name and a face, and give them their flowers and their prompts, because that's just super awesome. Tell us about yours. And I appreciate you correcting me. I keep saying children because I just think everybody, under the age of 30.
Right. No, I get it. And I find myself doing the same thing too. Myself.
But they are young men and young women. So yes, tell us who they are.
So, I kind of laugh because I never do that. You just know who they are because you know who they are, but I will because you asked me. So my oldest is Sheba Coffey, and she played college at Marist College in New York. And then she went on to play 2 years overseas. Her first year, she played in Australia, and her second year, she played in Finland. And she was going on to play in Australia once again. And then COVID happened and life changed dramatically. It just did. And then my youngest daughter is Sheba Coffey, and she played college at Northwestern University in Chicago. And this is she's finished her 7th year in the WNBA. And so she's currently with the Atlanta Dream. She's been with several teams throughout her journey. And after each season, she's gone overseas and played in Europe and Asia. And so that's what they do in the WNBA. And then I almost say baby boy, my son, he just finished his 3rd year with the LA Clippers. And so they're all doing well. They're all a competitive bunch, and they're all doing well.
Well, congratulations to you, Mom. You did great. You did great. So that's amazing. I'm just so proud of you and your family. That's just awesome. You hear a lot of 1 and 2s. where parents have children in sports, but 3 in the same sport, that's really rare. That's really rare. So you just keep doing what you're doing. And again, I appreciate you coming on the platform and sharing your experience and your knowledge. So it's just going to be so great for the viewers to hear this.
Yeah.
So as we close, give them some tips on how they can be successful in our Coach Joe Free Throw-a-thon.
So in the free throw-a-thon, so first of all, I mean, you can't change anybody's shot. So everybody's shot is what it is. I would say really focus and create a mental movie. I know that sounds crazy, but create a mental movie. You're sitting there at standing there at the free throw line before you even, begin bouncing the ball. Focus on the hoop. See that ball going in, like it went in, nothing but net. You see it go in. You see people cheering for you, and you excited yourself or whatever because you've already seen the success. You already seen the celebration. So that's where your mind is. And then obviously, I mean, you're focusing on getting it in, focusing on the square on the backboard and arc that ball high. But the main thing is the mental movie that's so important. See it in going in before it even leaves your hand. And so when you believe, I honestly believe that everything else will follow. See it going in first, and then let your skill set take you the rest of the way. But see it going in.
Awesome. You heard it from Miss Sheba Coffey, former basketball player, sports mom to three professional players. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us. I will be reaching out to you again for some reason. I don't know what yet, but we just
I'm going to hold you to it. Please do. You got to stay in touch with me. I love your work. And I honestly don't believe that all the parents or the athletes know how valuable what you do is, and how valuable that the mindset is the foundation of all of this. And I don't care how good you are, if you don't have the mindset, it's meaningless. So we got to start with you first. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about the work that you do and how meaningful it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you all have any questions for Sheba, you can get them to me and I'll make sure they get them to her. Sports parents, I encourage you to reach out because I know raising elite athletes is challenging. It's a loving challenge, but it's always good to speak to someone who's been through it or who's going through it.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Yes. I'm willing to talk to whomever. And there's so many things we didn't cover about nutrition and eating right and those kinds of things. And all of that plays a major part. And the parents provide that. And our athletes need that. So I'm excited.
Oh, I feel a part 2 coming on.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Dr. Dillon. Let's get
more to come, you all.
Right. That's right. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. And you enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks for having me. Good luck to you. I wish you mind-blowing success.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And there you have it. Oh, what a wonderful person, a wonderful sports mom, just a wonderful all-around person. So if you haven't already, I think we're 10 days from the start of the event. The event is September the 9th through the 17th. So you want to sign up now to make sure that you get in there and make sure you get all the tips and information that's coming to you via email from me personally. And the registration link is extreme with an X, ballers.com/fun. extremeballers.com/.com. Oh, I just totally messed that up. Let me say that again because I confused myself, so I don't want to confuse you. It's extremeballers.com/fun. All right. I look forward to you all participating and helping me carry out this mission and helping those that need a helping hand. So until next time, bye for now.